this is Lucy and welcome to an episode of Ark. Today I am on the Cystal Isles. As I did say I was going to do, I have been playing on the primitive setting. Primitive gives you a lot more building tools, but unfortunately it does mean that you do not have tech like teleporters and cryo fridges, so any animals that you tame, you have to get them home or walk them home, or alternatively you can build a boat, and this is what this episode is about. I hadn't really messed around with boating much on Ark. I had used a raft, but not embellished a raft in any way, and I had a look on YouTube and I couldn't find what I wanted, which was basically a small riverboat. Now this isn't great for transporting big animals, but I have managed to get quite a few things up on the deck, like Ankylosaurus, and they do actually fit on here. A friend I was playing with, we moved camps and I managed to get about 5 fairly large animals on here, although her Anky was hanging off the side and looked a bit like a dog that was hanging out the window, but it worked quite well. As you can see, if you haven't played Ark Prim, this is what a large storage box looks like on Prim. There's a grill, which is great for grilling meat. You do need oil to power it, and I've only found one place on the Cystal Isles to get oil, but you can just pick it up from the ground. You don't need an oil derrick, so I kind of do a run every month or so up there for oil. You also get these quite cute little oil lamps, which currently are broken. I need to repair them. As you can see, I have decorated it, which is why it's the blue bob. There is a little cabin with a bed. You don't appear to be able to lie on beds in Prim, which seems a bit bizarre, and that is the standard bed. It's just basically skinned with this design. There are a few glitches in here, one of them being, and I have googled it, one of them being you can't actually sit on your animals, you seem to stand up, which breaks the immersion somewhat. So I've got viewing windows out the front. I put a smithy down here for making saddles if I need to. Obviously this is only one story. There is a ramp at the back, but you can pretty much only get small things on here. I have actually on another server built this 2-story high, although it kind of looks a bit like a cruise liner, and you still can't get an Anky through a single door. So, yeah, this is how you drive your boat. But there are quite a lot of rivers on this map, and apart from Sarcos, which are sort of big crocodiles, I haven't had too many problems getting about. Obviously I don't go out into deep water because of whales and large sharks, megalodons, and the terrain here there is sort of a shelf all the way around the mainland, but the deep water, it gets very deep very quickly, so be aware of that. There are a lot of islands. I have island hopped with this, and so far I haven't had any problems. There is no reverse on a raft, So but I usually can line it up pretty easily with the dock. And for some reason your head appears in the living quarters when you let go of the rudder. If you haven't built up a raft before, I will quickly show you how to do that. Right, the first thing we're going to do is put our raft down. I am building this in creative mode, but I can assure you it is fairly easy to build in... Come on, go down. It is easy to build in regular mode. I've just done it on another server. I think I'm deep enough, maybe that's the problem. There we go. Right. If you go to options, you can hide the sail, therefore giving you a flat raft, which is a good place to start. And the easiest way to put foundations on a raft, there's a little trick for doing this. What you need to do is take a wooden fence foundation, and line it up in the middle of your raft. Try and get it straight and in the middle. Then you need to put a pillar on the end. And your foundations should snap on. I am using the concrete ones for this. It makes the boat a bit stronger. You can take that up now. And the way to get your raft longer or wider is a trick using ceilings. Place down a thatched ceiling and you should be able to snap the foundation underneath it. Now sometimes this doesn't work, and I think the reason it doesn't work is if you're not in deep enough water. So you do in fact need to go out a little bit, which can be dangerous depending on where you are. It's quite shallow here, but you can do it from on the raft. You shouldn't have to get wet, but obviously you might fall off, especially if you're me. There we go. If you don't have your server set to pick up items, you can just demolish it. If you're quick enough, if you have 30 seconds, you can sometimes do it, but there we go. And we're going to do 3 at the back. I'm struggling a bit because I don't normally play Ark on this Xbox through my PC, so my monitor is... I'm struggling a bit with the the monitor. There we have it. I used triangle pieces for the front, and you can do the same thing with ceilings and then foundations. There are no thatched triangles, unfortunately, so I'm using wood in this instance. But the way I did this on a public, or on a friend's server, was I just made one and picked it up within 30 seconds. So there we have the base of our boat. Now to get the walls on. I'm a long-time fan of Aaron Longstaff, and I do like the way that he uses the walls inside out. So I have placed these walls inside out. Ooh. That one needs to be a window. I got that wrong. It's starting to look a bit like a boat now. I did put some internal walls in. All around. I do find this a bit weird. We need a door frame here. I put 2 glass windows at the front, greenhouse windows. And we need a ladder up to the upper deck. Going to be one of those days. Right, in that case, I'm going to put the ceilings on, see if that helps. It does annoy me sometimes in art that you line something up and it looks like it's in the right place, and then when you place it down it moves. Never happens to Aaron Longstaff. Not that I've noticed anyway. That one's the wrong way round. Right way round? No, it's still the wrong way round. I don't know why it does this. Still the wrong way round. Let's try it from this angle. Unfortunately, because the Cystal Isles is so bright, it is pretty much impossible to see a piece before you put it down. There we go. We are getting there. I'm hoping if I get up on here now. That one doesn't look like it's quite in the right place. Thought that one was going to miss then. I did find when I built this. Oh, there's a gap. I'll have to take that wall out and move it. This is one of the reasons I like having the ability to pick things up, because sometimes you don't notice that things are misaligned until you and when you're spending hours collecting resources. The boat I built on my friend's server, I actually built that quite early on. I think I was about level 15 when I started, and all of the resources were collected by hand for that. Obviously at the front you need to mirror the base and put wooden triangles on. And I did find that if I put another whole square ceiling on here that you couldn't actually get down. So I put... Ooh, okay. It did not go the way I wanted it to go. In here. I put this kind of, I suppose it's almost a curve. I put this two triangular pieces in like this. I could still get down, but it covered rather than leaving it all open. For the cabin, it's just a quick rectangle. If I can get the pieces on the way I want. This always happens to me, whether I'm recording or not, whenever I take something off the quick bar, I immediately need it 30 seconds later. Right. I have finally sorted the roof of the cabin out. Decided to add a ladder to the side of this section. It does mean that you can store items up here and get them quite easily. To make the ladder climbable, I've had to pull it away from the wall a bit. So it would make more sense if the roof overlapped on that side, because these are turned inwards. This is what was causing me the problem with the roof. Getting these ceiling tiles on, but it works. We need to put a ramp at the back. What I'm going to do is use a stair and then just switch it to a ramp. And the last thing we need are windows, doors and railings. I put a railing here across the front and it's doing the wiggle thing. I need a door on the back. In my boat, I left this space here for a food trough so that if you're carrying animals, they won't starve to death. And I put railings, inside out railings, all the way around. As I said, it's very difficult sometimes on the Cystal Isles to see what colour is facing. I left a gap here so you can put another ramp or staircase down to get an on and off. And get some of your animals on and off. You can pretty much kit this boat out so you can live on it if you want. Come to the conclusion that Aaron Longstaff must be a genius editor. I never see his bits wiggling about, which can be taken in lots of different contexts. And I put a railing here. Just put the windows in. And we have ourselves a boat. I'm going to have to come up with a different name for this one. And I don't know if there's enough room to dock both of them. But I will pull it up to the beach. Obviously the blue bob was painted. The colours are sort of dark blue, and I used some cantaloupe in the cabin. This is my current base. We are here on the Cystal Isles. If anyone's interested, I will give you a tour of that another time. You can see I have some of my dodos on wander. I love dodos. Gentlemen, please close your ears. To enable my dodos to wander without getting millions of dodos, the boys get the snip. So it's all the boys wandering around. I have my female dodos laying eggs. I do have one male dodo who I call Stud Muffin, who gets to keep his bits. The last thing I'm going to do before I declare this finished is just convert these foundations to block. That way they will match the front. I would suggest you obviously do this in a shallower area like I'm doing here. Watch out for piranhas. So there we go, there is the little riverboat. That's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like a tour of my current camp, please let me know. Thank you for watching.